Hi, I'm Father Michael Orsi. I am your host for Action for Life Television, that good news program which brings you the big G for the gospel of Jesus Christ and the little g, all the good things that people do to put that gospel of life into action. Hey, gang, I got a surprise for you today. I'm sure you never expected that I would invite a jailbird to be on our program, but that's what we have. We have a jailbird, and this lady spent, how long did you spend in jail at the Oakland Hilton?
Yeah, the Oakland County Hilton. 34 days out of a 45-day sentence.
So over a month, she was in jail, and we're going to ask her why she had to go to jail, why she was sent to jail, and then it's like some fantastic things happened in jail. So today we have a friend of mine for many, many years, Monica Migliorino Miller, and she'll tell us her fantastic story. So, Monica, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be with you, Father.
Tell us about why did you go to jail? What did you do?
Okay. I participated in a Red Rose Rescue.
Tell us about Red Rose Rescue. Tell us what that is.
Well, it's some of the viewers here might recall that back in the day, actually, if you go all the way back to the 1970s, but there was a very robust component of the pro-life movement known as rescues. Operation Rescue would be maybe the biggest initiative. It fizzled out pretty much in the mid-1990s thanks to Bill Clinton and the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, which is still on the books. And on other complicated reasons, but that was a big one. But a bunch of us decided back in 2017 that maybe we could revive the rescue movement. But I had always had a thought, literally percolating for years, that we should do something a little different and actually do something that would not bring us under the face law. And so we designed the Red Rose Rescues. And we've done about 35 of them. I wish I could say we have done more, but we need people to join us to do more. But what we do is about no more than 6 of us. We cap it at 6 people because we don't want to glut. We're not protesting abortion. They got a problem with that, of course, but we want to go into the actual waiting rooms of the abortion centers as incognito as we can, as quietly as we can, sit down and talk to the moms that are scheduled for abortion. They're already there sitting, waiting to go down the hallway of death to abort their babies. And so we try to talk to them. We offer them help, words of encouragement, give them pamphlets about abortion, and offer them roses. And the rose will have a card attached to the stem with more words of encouragement. And then on the other side of the card are phone numbers to the local pregnancy help centers. And so this is our effort to convince these moms literally at the last minute to choose life. And we have had some moms leave during Red Rose Rescues, even the testimony of the clinic director. One of the clinic directors here in Michigan said 12 women did not go through with their abortions. that would have been back in 2017 rescue that we did in Michigan. The likelihood of every woman turning away, very, very, very low that's going to happen. And so the other dimension of the Red Rose Rescue, Father, is somebody has to stay. Maybe not all 6 of us. If somebody feels they need to leave, when the police come, they're free to go.
You go right into the abortuary.
Yes, right in the waiting room. Yeah.
And then if you're in that waiting room, they have a right to say, get out.
Exactly. Well, I don't think they have a right to say, but
they say they have. The law backs them up. The law backs them up.
Right. Exactly, Father. And so the police will arrive, but we have to stay with the unwanted. I mean, that's part of the really important dimension of a Red Rose Rescue. I mean, the unborn are abandoned and unwanted, and we feel that it's important that they deserve to have somebody be with them, stay with them. And so we will be continuing our witness to the sanctity of their lives. And as long as we're in the abortion center, the abortions are halted. The killing process is stopped. So we try to stay there as long as we possibly can. We think the unborn deserve at least that much witness to their lives, even if they go off to their deaths. So somebody was there advocating for them for as long as we can. So,
okay, so you're in there, and then all of a sudden they say, "Get out, or we're going to call the police."
Right, and then the police arrive, and they give us a bunch of warnings, and we try to negotiate with them and stall for time. Eventually, though, the arrests are going to happen, and so we did a Red Rose rescue at the Northland Family Planning Abortion Center here in Michigan, in Southfield, Michigan. They do abortions there through the 6th month of pregnancy.
This is right outside Detroit, folks, just so you know.
Yeah, it's outside of Detroit. Yeah, but maybe not very far, but 20 minutes maybe outside of Detroit. And so we were charged with trespassing. There were 6 of us. Father Fidelius Moshensky of the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal out of the Bronx there in New York.
You remember that, folks? He is part of the community of the late, great Father Benedict Groeschel. Right. You remember that?
Yes. And then, of course, myself, Laura Geis, Matthew Connolly, Jacob Gregor, and Elizabeth Wagi. So even before the police arrived, 3 of us remained in the hallway to kind of intercept the moms as they were getting off the elevator, so we'd have time to talk to them as they're walking down the hallway. The Father Fidelis, Greg, Jacob, and Elizabeth actually were in the waiting room. These 2 huge, and I'm not saying that just to, make it look dramatic. I mean, these very big security guards manhandled our people. I mean, they grabbed them and literally threw them out the door of the abortion center. So now all of us are now in the hallway outside the door to the abortion center. That's where we were arrested. We were arrested in the hallway. And
so the police came,
yes.
The Southfield police, right. They came.
Yes.
And arrested you.
And we had a long talk with them, witnessing to them about what we were trying to do. And this went on for, I don't know, good 20 minutes or more. They eventually arrested us when we had our trial. Okay, we were charged with trespassing, obstruction of an officer, and interference, a very odd law, interference with business relations. Now, people might wonder, what do you mean obstruction of an officer? Okay, all we did, and I am not exaggerating again, not an exaggeration, all we did is we would not obey the order to leave. That's it. In Michigan, you could get charged with obstructing an officer by just not obeying the so-called lawful order. Okay, that was it. That's all we did. We were tried in February in front of Judge Cynthia Arvant. We had a great attorney, Robert Muse of the American Freedom Center.
I know Robert. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. I think he has, when I used to be with him in Michigan, there were 10 children.
He has 12 children.
12. When I knew him, it was 9 girls, and then finally the boy came.
Yeah, they have a couple of boys now. Yeah.
Now a couple of boys? Okay. He says to me, that boy has not had his feet touch the ground yet. The girls keep picking him up. Wonderful guy, wonderful guy.
He is the most amazing attorney, so skilled, so aggressive, so intelligent, and spiritually focused. I love him. So if somebody wants to make a donation to the American Freedom Law Center, your money will be very well spent. And he's appealing our case, and this costs money to it. Even just to get the transcript for the trial is thousands of dollars. So the American Freedom Law Center, easy to find on the internet. So we were convicted. Now here's the thing, and this is the thing I really need to explain. Why were we convicted? We were convicted because, in principle, we ask for a defense of others. It's a common law defense. What does that mean? The law, the defense of others, sometimes it's also referred to as the defense of necessity. So the classic example is you're walking down the street, you have a reasonable belief that a house is on fire, you think that somebody's in the house and needs to be saved, or maybe a little child or an elderly person that's disabled or whatever. You break the glass, you bust in the door, and under any other circumstances, that would be breaking and entering and trespassing on private property. But since you're doing it to defend others and you're doing it to prevent a greater evil from occurring, you're acquitted. Okay, charges dismissed. Even maybe you don't even go to trial. But the unborn, and okay, in a post Roe v. Wade scenario, okay, I live in Michigan. The unborn are not recognized as others. It's as if they didn't even exist.
Right.
No harm is caused when abortions are performed, okay, that we are trying to prevent. All right. So we didn't get that defense. We were thrown back on trying to argue on technicalities. And even though we had some very good technical points, I think the jury was in a big hurry to get out of there. I think they were bored to death, unfortunately, because of the prosecutor kept showing video after video after video. And it was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, we had our sentencing then on the 30th of March. Okay. Now,
for obstructing an officer.
Yeah, well, I was convicted of the trespassing and the obstruction of an officer. Father Fidelius and Matthew and Elizabeth and Jacob were charged with that extra charge of obstruction of a business or interference with business relations. Now, my other rescuer, Laura Geis, she only got convicted of the trespassing and the obstruction of an officer. Okay, so we had lesser time in jail as a consequence of that.
But did you have a choice? I mean, did they say to you, or you could pay a fine, or you just had to go to jail?
Yeah, let me get to that, because this is a very important aspect of what happened. Judge Arvant wanted to put us all on probation, okay, for 18 months. In conscience, we could have walked out of her court, even with the imposition of these conditions. One of the conditions of the 18-month probation was that we had to remain 500 feet from every single abortion center in the United States of America. I'm sorry, but that is not happening, and we can't. Okay, that's bad enough.
That's the yellow line they put in front of the abortion clinics.
Well, sometimes even buffer zones, but 500 feet's a football field. I mean, this is okay. Right. This is not 10 feet. This is 500 feet, and every single abortion center in the United States. Okay. Right. So that was bad enough, but the thing that the straw, let's say, that broke the camel's back in terms of our conscience, she required compliance. She was asking us, do you agree to abide by this condition? And in conscience, we couldn't say yes. Mm-hmm. I even said to the judge, this is like asking us not to feed the poor, you know, not to intervene when somebody's life is at stake. You're telling me I've got to agree not to do that. So that's why we wound up in jail, because we wouldn't agree to the condition. Okay. Now, if she had imposed it without asking for compliance, in conscience, we could have walked out of there, which we, by the way, we did in 2018 with a similar condition, but that judge didn't require compliance. So we planned our own, violation of the probation condition, but on our own terms, so to speak. We went back in 2018. We went back to the abortion center. We were within 30 feet of the door. We broke the probation, and we did a jail term. But we could manage our own time. I could finish out my semester. My teaching wasn't involved and all of that. And we did the jail term in the summer of 2018. So that was our issue with Judge Arvant. She went that one step past the judge that we had in 2018, Judge Barron. I thought he was the judge from hell, but she wound up being worse than Judge Barron.
Well, she sounds like a very mean lady, and I guess she's cousins with the governor there, Whitmer.
Well, who knows what her politics are, Father? But
it sounds to me like she belongs to a certain party. Well, let's leave it there, folks. As you know, I'm not political at all. As you can imagine, producing this wonderful program, Action for Life, it costs a great deal of money. We're going to need your help. So if you would like to donate to keep this good news program on the air, please go to your computer, your cell phone, actionforlife.net. And now for our thought for the day. Prayer is extremely important. We're not fighting a battle just against earthly powers. We're fighting a battle against evil. Please take some time each day to pray and ask God for the strength that you need and that we need to keep up the battle for life. Hey gang, I know a lot of you sometimes can't watch all of our episodes of Action for Life. However, we have a solution for that. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search for Action for Life Florida. And you can catch up on all the shows, and guess what? Extra added bonus, you get to hear my weekly homily. So, YouTube and you make a fine couple. All right, so, all right. Look, the best part of the story is yet to come. They go to jail, and this is like something out of the Acts of the Apostles, with Peter and Paul. They went to jail, and they said, well, we might as well make the best of being in jail. And they begin to evangelize in jail, which is a fantastic thing.
The blessings were incredible.
Tell us.
Okay, and let me just say, okay, bad food, hard bad. Okay, we get it, all right? Lots of noise. But people think, oh, I could never do a Red Rose Rescue because I can't risk going to jail. Well, aren't we supposed to be picking up our cross and following our Lord?
That's what it says.
And then you open yourself up to the many graces that God wants to give to you in a difficult situation. And we're in jail with I'm going to have to say, in this experience for me, this time, 90% of the women that are our fellow inmates, they were in jail for drug abuse issues and alcohol. So we basically were spending time with a lot of drug addicts. Okay. And we could minister to them. This was our mission field. We prayed with them. We listened to them. We counseled them. We evangelized them. We started a rosary group in the day room. We had at the most maybe 12 other inmates joined us praying the rosary. Okay, and you could actually get a rosary if you could ask the chaplain's office to send you a rosary, and they the next day.
I got to just paint the picture here. We were like in a prison jumpsuit.
Oh yeah.
All right, and a number. I mean, the whole works.
Well, I didn't have a number, but it does say prisoner of Oakland County jail.
Okay, and then were you in the old? You know what I mean, folks? Like the slammer, like. You were in a bar kind of.
Well, yeah, let me explain it. It's a cell block. Okay, and it's a very open room. It's very big, open room. There are 2 TV sets in there, tables, chairs, telephones, and so on. The deputy's desk and their office. And then around the perimeter there's 2 levels. Around the perimeter of the open area are all the cells. And then there's a second floor, again, with cells all the way around the perimeter. So that cell block could accommodate about 64 women, because it's two women per cell, and there were 32 cells.
I scared picture you in jail. It's terrible. she's a nice lady.
Can picture me in jail. I mean, like the first day I got in there, and I'm sitting in a chair waiting to use a telephone, and this black lady comes up to me and she says, "You don't look like the kind of person who gets into trouble. What are you in here for anyway?"
He even knew there's something not right about this.
Yeah, they're right. We stick out like sore thumbs because we're polite, and we're genteel, and we're quiet, and we don't have any tattoos, and we don't have any piercings, and we don't use bad language. So there's something kind of weird about you guys, okay? But this was the first of many opportunities we had. I tell her why I was there, and they're shocked. What? You're in here for that? You shouldn't be in here for, and then some of them even say, "You're in here longer than I'm going to be in here for." So we got a lot of respect from our fellow inmates when they knew why we were there, and then they want to talk to us. They know that we're spiritually focused, and they want to pray with us. They want to talk with us. We had one woman was Laura Geis, had a cellmate. Her name was Monisha, pregnant, thinking about getting an abortion. She gave birth to a baby just back in December of last year, and now she's pregnant again, wanting to abort this baby. And Laura talked her out of aborting that baby. So our pro-life work, no matter what Judge Arvant wanted to do, keeping us away from a clinics for 500 feet, we could talk women out of abortions when we go to jail.
The joke is on the judge. Hey, Judge, you hear that? You saved babies. How about that? Well, Monica, God works in such strange ways. I mean, to think that, you go to jail and you get to evangelize in jail. You save babies in jail. I mean,
right.
Folks, God is so powerful in the most difficult situations, the most hopeless situations. When Jesus is going into Jerusalem, they're telling him, "Oh, be quiet, stop your teaching and stop your preaching." He says, "If I stop the crowds, I tell them to stop cheering for me. Even the rocks themselves will start to sing." Right. You can't tell people to be quiet. You know why? The truth always wins out. And, that's what Monica's all about, telling the truth. Now, anybody left in jail? Is Father Fidelis still in jail?
Yes. And let me give out our website.
Yeah.
ProLifeSociety.com, no hyphens, ProLifeSociety.com. You scroll down a little bit on the homepage. I have my open letter that I wrote from the Oakland County Jail, and I have information about Father Fidelis is still in jail, and Matthew Connolly is still in jail because they got the longer sentences. And you can write to them. So all the information, how to write to them and how to get their jail information. There's a link there to get their prison ID number, because you're going to need that to write to them. And let me think, Matthew's out June 6th. So there's still time to write to him.
Oh, we want to get him on the show. I want to get him on the show. Hey, folks, you want to see Father Matthew? I mean, I've seen pictures of him. I've never met him personally, but boy, this is a terrific priest. What an impact he's making. To see a priest ready to go to jail to do what's right, man, I feel guilty. Folks, I don't want to go to jail. I visited the Collier County prison. I forget about it. It's not.
Well, and I think people need to put the penalties in perspective. And we've done 35 Red Rose rescues. The penalties literally have ranged from nothing, 0 charges dismissed, to only, but 90 days. 90 days has been the worst, the most. So, and somebody who does a Red Rose rescue, the first conviction, let's say you get convicted. I've actually had a couple of not guilty verdicts. Okay, so that also has happened, but most likely you're going to get probation of some kind. You're not going to be facing jail time. And like I said, I mean, abortion is murder. The unborn don't have anyone to speak for them. You're the only one who can do it. If people want to get involved, go to their website that I just put out, prolifesociety.com, and just click on the contact tab and send me an email, and I'll talk to you. And I think more people should be doing Red Rose rescues. It's not that difficult, and you just have to have a little bit of courage, and if you don't stepping out, then the blessings happen. Okay, that's how you got to see it. And I just want to encourage people.
You see that, folks? It's willing to step out, and that's what makes saints. We have in the church, so many people who have stepped out. They're called martyrs. And the big picture is I want to get to heaven. I want to get to heaven, and you want to save other lives so that those babies and their mothers and sometimes their fathers can get to heaven too. So, Monica, you've always inspired me. You really have been a great inspiration for me over these many, many years. I can now say that I'm good friends with a jailbird, and I'm very proud of you. And I want to get Father Fidelis on the program too, as soon as he gets out of jail. And for the great,
he'll be out June 12th.
And for the great work you did with the evangelization in prison. This is the living gospel. St. Paul's being dropped into jail. They used to just put him in a big hole, and he's singing hymns. Hey, I'm here, and Jesus is here with me, and that's what you did. Hey, folks, Monica's for action. I'm for action, and I know you are too. We would like to thank our generous sponsors for their wonderful support. Thanks for watching. Please join us next time for Action for Life. I'm for action, and I hope you are too. I'm Father Michael Orsi. I am your host for Action for Life Television, that good news program which talks about the gospel of Jesus Christ, the big G, and the little g, all the good things that people are doing to put the gospel of life into action. So please join us for the next episode of Action for Life.